In this video, we're going to show you how to install the door lock actuator on your Ford Mustang located in the driver's side door. The process for this is very similar to the passenger side. Now with the door open, we want to go ahead and start to remove some of our trim panels. Now we're going to use a trim tool. I'm going to come underneath. Go ahead and pull this up and out. I'm going to separate our connectors here. Just going to lift up on this little tab here and slide that connector off. This one here is held in place by two Phillips head screws. So let's go ahead, loosen and remove these two screws. Go ahead and set that aside. Now in here we have the door handle cup. Go ahead and run your trim tool up and around, releasing all of these clips. Pop that out, set that aside. Now normally on your door panels you would have a couple screws going through, and it looks like ours is actually missing here, but you want to go ahead and remove, normally there's two Phillips head screws right here. Go ahead, loosen and remove those. The next place you want to go to is up here. If you have a trim panel or you have the speaker, you want to go ahead and remove this here. Go ahead and remove the speaker cover if you have that speaker there. Use your trim tool to get behind the edge. Right inside should be a Phillips head screw. I'm going to go ahead and loosen and remove this. And just set that aside for now. The last retaining button that we have to remove off of this is on the front side right here, just to the right of the speaker. There's a trim button. We're going to go ahead and use our trim tool to pop that off. Here's a plastic trim button right here. Set that aside. Now we can go ahead and grab our door panel, lift it up and off. Now, if your vehicle has this, which it should, this is a water shield, and it looks like ours is held in place by some tape here, so someone's been in here already. Usually there's an adhesive around the edge, but the goal here is you want to make sure that you try and take it off in one piece. You want to be able to reuse this. And just peel this back. I'm going to put our key in the on position. We're going to raise our window to the upright position. Now on the inside of the door, this is over by the door latch area here, there's going to be a couple rods we need to disconnect, and this is one of them right here. So we need to open up this little yellow clip here and release this rod. So most of the time you can get your finger around behind here and pop that open. You can also use a pick if you have the ability to do so. And kind of get that behind there. Pop that open and then just pop that rod out like that. Now on the other side we have another one right here we need to get to. This one here. we can normally just get to this back side of it here and pull towards you. There it is. And then we can go ahead and push that rod out. See, just pop that rod out, pull that up through the door. Now on the bottom side, this connector right here, I want to go ahead and pop that off as well. Now you can sometimes do this once we get the actuator off of the door, but you can also do it just like this here. Just use that pick, pry that bottom and push it off at the same time. And boom, there you have it. Now I'm going to transition to the outside of the door shell, and we're going to remove the 3 Torx bits holding this to the door shell. Now on the outside here, we're going to use a T27 Torx bit. Now this is coming loose here, and it may collapse down inside the door shell, or it might just kind of flop over to the side, but that's okay. Let's go to the inside of the door shell and we'll remove that. Now on the right hand side here, we have another actuator rod that goes up to the top. Now the other rod comes up on the side here and comes all the way up to this blue clip. I just want to go ahead and try and open this clip up and pop this rod out. Now with that rod disconnected, we can go ahead and grab that actuator unit and give us access to this other connector on the back side here. Now the clip is on the bottom side. You can try and put your finger underneath it. I'm going to try using my pick. Now we get that connector off. Go ahead and work the actuator out of the door. Here's the unit, and this is the unit we're going to be replacing. Now our component is going to replace this one here. It does appear slightly different, but it will work. And the focus you want to do is on this bottom clip right here. We need to release this lower clip on our original part. Our pick is going to work just fine here. You can use a small pocket screwdriver as well. You're going to come down between the metal latch unit, and you're going to get in there and push in and just gently pry that tab up. And then once that tab is up, you're going to take this unit and pull it out and sliding it down. Now as you pop this off, you notice there's a rod right here on the other side. That rod needs to go into that bracket. So take your new component. You're going to put that rod, that pin into that hole. And you're going to line up the 2 mounting tabs on the metal brackets on the arm there and push it back down. Push it back down. You want to make sure that the little retaining clip is locked in below. Make sure that this is fully seated, and it is. And our pin is on our actuator unit itself for the rod attachment. We're ready to reinstall our component here. Let's go ahead and feed this back into the door. Go ahead and work the actuator back up and in. I'm going to go ahead and connect the lower connector here. Snap that into place. I'm going to grab the other white connector here for the bottom, and I'm just going to install that now while we're here. Snap that on. I'm going to go ahead and position our latch unit onto the door shell and get those screw holes to line up. Now, while holding the lock actuator in place, I'm going to go ahead with the other hand and get these screws started on the outside. You definitely want to get these started by hand. Go ahead and snug those down. With these 3 screws secured, let's go back into the door. Let's go ahead and get the rod installed. So we need to install our rod through the hole in the top here. Feed that down. Gonna push that into the retainer and then press our yellow clip over. That snapped into place. Now on the top, we're going to go ahead and install this rod into the light blue clip. Snap that in. Now right here, we need to install our threaded rod into the clip. Going to push that into place. And then press the lock cap over. Snap that on, make sure that's secure. Check all of your rods, make sure the cables and the connectors are installed. Now that we have all the rods and cables attached inside the door, let's come on back and just double check the Torx screws here. You want to make sure those are good and tight. Now I'm just using a 1/4-inch ratchet. I'm not overdoing it, but making sure that's good and snug there. Let's go ahead and get your water shield lined back up again here. Now, for some reason, if your adhesive is not in good shape, go ahead and just use some tape. Secure that back in place. We're going to go ahead and power our window back down. It's going to make it easier for us to hang our door panel. Now on the inside of our door panel here, we have these tabs all the way around the perimeter. So these actually need to fit into the door shell and then push it down. Now as we're going to line this up, be sure to grab your switch here, pull that through. Just going to bring our door panel up, line that up onto the top of the window sweep channel area. Don't forget to put your lock button into the hole. And then just run your hand around the perimeter and make sure that that entire door panel is seated up against the door shell. Once you have that done, we'll go ahead and install our switch panel and get our screws in around the perimeter. You're going to take your 1 plastic push pin just to the right of the speaker, line that up, and push that in. Now on the door panel itself, if you have the 2 screws that go right here, go ahead and install those now. Up in the upper corner here, we're going to install our speaker. Go ahead and get that lined up. There is 1 Phillips head screw that goes inside here. Just go ahead and gently snug that down. Go ahead and take your cover, line that up, just gently snap that in. Just press around the perimeter, snapping that into place. Then we have our door handle pull. Pull out the handle, bring that in. We'll go ahead and get this snapped in around the perimeter. I'm going to take our trim bezel here for the switch. Go ahead and line that up. Want to get our 2 screws started for this. Now we just want to go ahead and gently snug these down. So that screw is bottomed out. That's as far as we got to go. Do the same for this one here. Don't forget to install the other connector here. I'll line that up. Snap that in. And on the bottom side here, we have a metal retainer that will snap into the base right here. And on the top, we have a couple clips that are going to snap in around the rest of the door itself. Go ahead and snap everything in. At that point there, you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.